The jury has just entered the courtroom. The judge has asked for the jury verdict form so he can inspect it to make sure it is filled out properly. Any moment now, we'll learn what the verdict is in Senator Bob Menendez bribery case again. He's facing 16 criminal counts of bribery, extortion, on a services wire, fraud, acting as a foreign agent for the government of Egypt, as well as conspiracy charges. Now, the senator has maintained his innocence throughout, but now is the moment we have the verdict beginning to come in. We're just waiting for my colleague, Lauren Devine, who's inside, listening to the verdict. We will learn the information shortly, but this was part of what prosecutors say was a grand scheme of corruption. They say the senator sold the power of his office in exchange for bribe, multiple gold bars, nearly $500,000 million in cash that the FBI found at his wife's home. Where the first count is in the conspiracy to commit bribery, the senator was found guilty. His two co-defendants in this were also found guilty of this. First count of bribery is encompassing of the entire conspiracy that the senator has been charged with. There are still 17 counts to be read, but this first count of conspiracy count includes all of the alleged schemes in this case. So that is both the senator being found guilty of trying to bribe the government to accept bribes in order to help the government of Egypt, that he's also been found guilty of a conspiracy to help interfere with the criminal investigations to aid to people, including one of his co-defendants that's also guilty. We've seen count 2, the conspiracy to commit honest services wire fraud. On that count, the senator is found guilty. Now, that count carries a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. You know, this will take some time to go through the charges. Learning count 3, that's the conspiracy to commit extortion. The senator is found guilty of that charge as well. So far, 3 for 3. Senator Bob Menendez is found guilty of what prosecutors say was this vast scheme of corruption on a grand scale, on a massive scale, involving multiple threads. Also conspiracy to commit obstruction of justice. Count 4. He is found guilty of that count. That count relates to him interfering in the prosecution of one of his co-defendants. In this case, a New Jersey businessman. So these guilty verdicts are coming in, hitting most of the alleged schemes. One count that we'll be waiting for has to do with whether the senator is found guilty of acting as a foreign agent. That is later in this verdict sheet, so we don't have that information just yet. But we do find that bribery, another bribery charge, count 5. That is bribery involving accepting bribes to help the government of Egypt and help one of the co-defendants maintain a monopoly on the certification of halal meats. If found guilty, count 6. That's bribery to benefit. This same man also found guilty